got this 5:30 thing in my head, but I thought my appointment was for 5:30. Unfortunately, it was not so. But so I have 15 minutes to do this, and I just get everything mixed up. So I let me just hasten on while I have time. So I thought that I would share this with our young people. I It's the book Why Our Teenagers Leave the Church, and I thought it was very, very interesting uh, conversation for us to have on a Youth Day to see if we can resonate with our young people why they are leaving our church. Of course, you should know this. Um, a lot of young people pass through this church, and I'm just seeing just about a few now, probably outside preparing for AY, and it's the same thing that has been happening in a lot of churches. Young people are not staying, and according to uh, Pastor Dudley, Roger Dudley, from the Andrews University at the time when he wrote this book and did this research, a 10-year study on young people, came up with some very interesting findings, and this is what I'm going to be sharing with you. And next time we will be able to finish it because we'll have to give way to AY. So I'm going to ask you to move my slide. Uh, so here are some of the reasons. Um, the voices I call of the vexed. And young people are saying that I am frustrated with the church. I have lost my faith in the Adventist organization. And remember, this is a 10-year study that was done. The members in my church were so cold, I had to stop attending for 2 years. The Adventist church tends to be the opposite of Christ. And I feel that the church is a farce. Now, most of us here are not young people in the category given to our church for young people. And that is why I want you to take notice of what the young people are saying. Frustration is there, faith, loss of faith in the church. The members are so cold. I don't think that one can apply to this church. Is this church a cold church? No, it isn't. And I wish young people were here so that we could bounce this off them and they could tell us if they can identify with these. And they said that the church is a farce. Turn quickly. If you have ever dropped, this is a question, if you have ever dropped out of church membership or stopped attending services, what were the main reasons that caused you to do this? And, I look at that young lady's face, tells a story. The question is, if you have ever dropped out of church membership or stopped attending services, what were the main reasons that caused you to do this? And we looked at a few already. Go to the next slide. A major theme shared by the dropouts, referring to the young people, was that they feel unaccepted by their churches. Many describe their church as very cold, aloof, and unfriendly. And I'm seeing some young people now, and I'm just waiting for them to settle down so I can ask them a few questions. Like, Elisha, let me put you on the spot. Elisha, I'm going to put you on the spot. So, we're looking at this 10-year study that was done, and young people have said that One of the reasons that they fell out of the church was because they felt they were alienated. And what you're seeing on the screen is one of the reasons. Many describe their church as very cold and aloof and unfriendly. So I want to hear from you. Would you describe your church like that?
This church?
Yeah, your church.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh
your
no,
church.
no, 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 no.
So your church is not.
This church is if anything, it's more like of too friendly.
Yes, Elisha said and he has been in church all his life. So like this church is not one of those. It said that it's too friendly. All right, I would. I'm not gonna take any old person too much right now, elder brother. But let me take some young. I don't have enough time. That's why I just have less than 10 minutes. Yeah, Adventist. Yeah, Adventist church. It's the Adventist church. Yeah. So Brother Cliff has a son here. Brother Cliff's son. What's his name again? Peter. Ethan. Okay, Ethan. Okay. All right. Ethan, would you say that as a young person you feel alienated in the church?
No.
No, you wouldn't say that. Okay, so we're getting some good marks for this church as far as alienation is concerned. All right, let me turn quickly. Thank you, Elisha and Ethan. Yeah, move the slide. Here's another from the Vexed Voices. I would rather spend Sabbath on my own than try to carve out a place in the ice. You know what? You know what that young person means when you say a place in the ice? Let me ask. Mahalia. I saw Mahalia just earlier. She left? Oh. So when that young person said that they'd rather stay at home than come to this, carve out a place in the ice, what do you think that person is referring to? Give her the mic, quick.
I think what she means is she'd rather stay at home than go somewhere she doesn't fit in.
Okay, and the reference to ice, what that means?
A cold place.
Yeah, and like cold, church is cold. But of course, Elisha has already told us that this is not a cold church. All right, so let's move on quickly. Uh, One more says, a year ago, I was very active in the church by being chair of the nominating committee. It's a young person. That young person was a Sabbath school superintendent. That young person was also a church pianist. That young person was on the rostrum during divine hour service every 2 weeks. That young person was a Sabbath school teacher. We're talking about young people. So instead of putting the same clique of older people, youth and women, into the leadership positions, guess what the nominating committee did? They decided to inject a mixture of older people, youth and women, into the leadership positions. You think that's a good idea, young people? Yeah. So we have older people, young people, everybody mixed. Next slide, quick. The older clique was infuriated. Young people, you know what that word means? Infuriated? Somebody tell me. Vexed. Angry. Why were the older people angry? Because the nominating committee decided to mix young people amongst leadership. So this is what happened. Refused to participate in the position. The older people refused to participate in the positions for which they were nominated and attended other churches. This young person is saying, I had supported them for years. And when they had an opportunity to support me, they basically thought that I wasn't ready to be active. Now I can resonate with this. Because I had an experience when I became the first elder of my church, a very large church. And I had this kind of an experience where I felt the support dropped. I'm not afraid to say it on camera. Dropped. And so I can identify with this. Now, are there any young people here that can identify with this? Drafted into leadership amongst the older clique, and then you did not get the support as an AY leader. Yeah, yes, sister. Talk up. Don't be afraid. I will back you.
Mic check. Oh yes, that is true. Because in my church when I was in Jamaica, normally the older persons, they would really not want to come to, especially AY, because it's the young people leading out, and why do we need to come? Because it's almost like they will not do anything, and so youth AY never really had much people. It's like as soon as Bible class they left, or if they even came to Bible class. So that's true where young people being in leadership is concerned. Even even the Adventist youth department, sometimes they'll be like, oh no, let them, like put an older person over them. And normally when an older person goes there, they don't know how to relate to us, the young people. And so it really makes no sense. All of a sudden, everybody just leave.
Yeah. Before you leave the mic, would you, from your experience, say that this is one of the reasons why young people left the church?
Yes, I would say that, because it's like they're not participating, and so they feel like there is no need for them.
Okay. All right. So you heard it from a young person's. Okay, sister. Yeah. Let us get the mic. The AY leader has an experience.
Yes,
Oh,
so
you have a mic.
I have an experience when I was younger and going to church. I was told to do welcome, and then I was excited and I got prepared. When I got to church, an elder brought me to the back, and he told me that he doesn't want me to do the welcome anymore because there's someone who is more mature and capable to do it. And I stopped going to church and never went back until I got baptized here, and I went back to Jamaica, and I went back and I told them exactly why I left.
Oh,
Yeah.
my. How old were you at the time, sis?
I was in high school.
Okay. So, you see, this is real. This is real. And that is exactly, I'm coming to you, sis. That is exactly what the young people are saying, and I hope we older folks are listening. That's the reason why they left the church. So the study is on point, because it's Sister Rita, who's now and by the way, this person who the elder told that she was not capable, or somebody else more mature, here she is now as the AY leader of a church. So, we have to be careful. Now, yes, sis.
My daughter. My daughter was told to do a special for 13 Sabbath. She's now 26 years old, and she will not go to church because she was told to do the special, but because somebody came and that person normally come and sing for Sabbath school or for the church, they told her she wouldn't sing again, and the person would sing, and she didn't. She not even went back to church. She got baptized in Mandeville, which was a different church, but she still holds on to that. Every time she go there, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
So as adults, we need to be careful how we approach these young people. They're tender. They are delicate. Yeah. And once their linen is torn,
Yeah.
how it takes God to mend it.
Yeah. She was snubbed and she left the church. All right. I don't have any more minutes. So I'm going to take one more slide, one more question and one more slide, or one more comment and one more slide. Yeah, yes, sis. Mm. Yeah.
Well, when I became a Seventh-day Adventist, I was 17 years old. And the church, Florence Hill, when I went there, nobody in my family was Seventh-day Adventist. And I went in the time when they are doing nomination. I was nominated to be a children teach in the children department. But at that church, what they do is they put in every position there's a training young person. So, and even now, if you go to that church, they always have young people because they keep training.
Have a kind of
They
apprenticeship
keep
kind of
training
thing.
young people.
Training. Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good idea.
All right.
All right, I'm gonna do one more slide and then I'm gonna wrap up because my fault. I mixed the time up, so I forfeited the time that I should have been here. So just give me one more slide. From the responses given to the question posed, it is clear that these young people were searching for sincerity, genuineness, and intelligent meaning for their lives. They are desperately seeking love, acceptance, and spiritual depth. Yet many are disappointed with the spiritual resources they have been offered by the church. Now, we have to stop here because we have to make way for AY. But suffice it to say, and maybe I'm speaking to the older people now, and you can see it for yourselves. And many of us who are now older resonate with this in our church. So we are not talking because a 10-year study, we could have done that 10-year study ourselves and come up with the same thing. Because as young people in the church, we were the recipients of some of these type of behaviors from the older people. And many, thank God for those of us who stayed, thank God for those of us who left and came back. But many, especially, is when they reach, as a study said, as they reach in their 20s, gone. They're gone. And we have a lot of young people here, some teenagers, and if the trend, God forbid, then we might not see some of them. That is if we are treating them the way that the study said, the young people in the study said they were treated. Well, I have to stop here, and maybe another time AY leader we can pick up, but we have to give a time for AY, and my apologies, I just got the time mixed up. Okay, yes. All right, I'll do that another time. Okay, brethren. Next week, yeah. All right, next week. Stay tuned online next week. AY time.